president.
No more king.
He's gonna do what the people want.
No more king.
We're gonna run.
We're sending our love down the well. All the way down.
That's Pilar Montenegro. You know who that is? Maybe you should look that up when you're out there protesting. You should know who Pilar is. I hope she gets better, but I don't think her health is that good right now. No more kings. So much has happened in the last few days, including from the point that ICE agents came in to Los Angeles and our politicians did fuck all, right? They didn't do anything, so our president, not our king, had to do something. Now, when I said I had finished my thoughts last week or so, I kind of lied because so much bullshit has happened. So much has happened over the weekend that I feel like I need to do this. This may not be the greatest video I've ever made, but it's going to be one of the coolest, I think, because I have to say stuff now. So when the Me Too movement happened, it happened because of Harvey Weinstein, or the leader. But let's go into a little bit. People like Matt Lauer and Charlie Rose, and even to a degree, Mr. Bill Cosby got what he deserved. Those three people got what they deserved. Even Harvey fucking Weinstein, who sexually harassed a lot of women. And the funny part of that is, people like Oprah knew he was dirty. They knew he was dirty. They all knew the guy was dirty. And they still went with them anyway. They still fucked around with them anyway, like nothing happened. Only when they got fucking caught. You had crappy shows like The Return of Murphy Brown teaching us what Me Too is. Like, we're not the ones that did your Hollywood dirty business. We're normal, blue-collar, putting our pants on one leg at a time people, work 8-hour shifts. We didn't do your Hollywood dirty shit. But on the other side of the coin, as I learned from Candace, old Harv's not as completely guilty as he appears. Because whenever I see Gloria Allred, I usually just go the other way, because she's a fucking liar. If you remember Crystal Gail Mangum, who eventually admitted she lied about being raped, that stripper, she's full of shit. And now I wonder if Meg Whitman would have been a good California governor, thinking back of that crying Consuela, who cried before a press conference with Gloria. Whenever I see this bitch, even her daughter disowned her, I think. Yeah. But then you got to wonder about the leader of the Me Too movement's motivations. Were they completely honest? And then her husband died. Couldn't take it anymore. Then some people had to apologize and bend the knee, just feeling like unsafe to even talk to females. You couldn't even talk to a female. Like it's wrong. It's wrong. Like what is someone to do? And then some other people, they just have hit pieces put on them and just wrongfully represented, just misrepresented in every way. I feel bad for him. I really do. Then we get to this incident. Many years ago, I remember because this happened shortly after an incident, which I'll get into at the end of this video. The body cams for police. After this incident, isn't it odd we always would see the one picture of this dude, right? And then there was the liquor store footage. Something going on, then the cop had to intervene. Jesus, this motherfucker's old. And I told you that 12 years ago, I was racially profiled by the LA under his watch, under Obama administration, under Lee Baca's watch, okay? They racially profiled me for having a shaved head. Even though I've never been in a gang, never had tattoos, never met or associated myself with known felons, okay? So, the sheriffs, and it was a Mexican and black sheriff. Mexican and black sheriff, two dumbasses, so let that sink in. As far as BLM was concerned, I remember on the Joe Rogan Experience, one dude said,
cops are bad. This is what I meant by fighting an invisible enemy. I just did a shitty job of explaining a safe community, including people that get pulled over by cops. Yeah. So them better, train them better. Yeah. And we should all want this. Yeah. This defund the cop shit is crazy. Bye.
There are a lot of there's a subversive group in this country that wants to topple the current structure of the United States so that they can gain power because they think they can rule better.
Yes.
And a lot of those people, generally speaking, are Marxist.
Yes.
Black Lives Matter, the sentiment, I can get down with. Black Lives Matter, the organization, I cannot.
And why is that?
Because they are not for the same thing.
Well, so what do you think?
The leader, the founders of Black Lives Matter, literally just came out and basically said she's a trained Marxist. She said blatantly. She's a trained Marxist. Both of them. The founders of Black Lives Matter organization
are these the
both
same
trained Marxists too.
folks that went on stage?
Now, Candace Owens also talked about this man several times. Then I decided to get this book, The Man Behind the Curtain. And I believe it is a woman that's funded the No More Kings or No Kings. And you heard what happened with BLM. And I do support Black Lives Mattering. You know, all lives matter sounds racist until the Pope says it. If the Pope says it or a rabbi says it, then you're like, what, yeah. So you got to be careful. Where do babies come from? Where do shitty movements come from? You know, with Dr. Martin Luther King and the civil rights, you could see the face of the movement. We can't see the faces of these movements anymore. It may be a while before I go to another Walmart ever again, but let's get back to the present. I saw the protests near Bell Garden, City of Bell, the casinos. People were driving fast. People were also launching illegal fireworks, but neither here or there. In all my 47 years, and I got into a fight with somebody, I said, I'll give you $1,000 if I ever get detained by ICE. Has never happened, okay? In all my 47 years, I've never had my citizenship questioned, okay? I never felt, there are a lot of Latinos. There's an actor, Raul Castillo. He's on the side of Kamala Harris against Trump. I would like to have a chat with him one day, like two rational adults. But anyway, because I was thinking about him recently, and there's a lot of other, like John Leguizamo. But in all my 47, I don't think about my racial identity. You know what makes me a happy American? You know what makes me a happy American? I can get up whenever I want to. And if I have a job, I can go to my job. And if I have an 8-hour job, I can make money, whether it was Universal Studios or working at Sears and Roebuck, working at Togo's, working at McDonald's, working as a government employee doing the census. Right now, I'm kind of doing a job working for the hospital, testing out new medications. Okay. This is medication for me. It's like a pen device, like a click pen device for my hemophilia. So I have a part-time job right now, which is an easy job. But I can go wherever I want. I can vote, I can shit, I can piss, I can fuck, I can sleep, I can eat, whatever I want. And I can do it without worrying about anybody arresting me for reasons. As long as I don't shave my head bald and walk around and provoke the sheriff's department, I think I should be fine. I think it was wrong what happened to me. I think they should have asked me for my ID. But we'll get into that in a little bit near the end. But I never felt included in my own I never felt part of my community. My own fellow Mexicans always made fun of me, stuck their tongue out at me, made noises at me, acted stupid. One in particular who made me feel like a rapist victim in a maximum security prison went on to become a successful actor. And I do believe Linda Park might have worked with this person. So that's why I kind of have my reservations about that person. I will never forgive him. Okay. So in short, people in my Mexican community always made me feel unwelcome. And I never felt like I was a part of anything. I always felt suicidal and isolated. You want to talk about people who are victims? Sometimes it's the people you least suspect. It's not the people you want it to be so bad. You want it to be all of this color, or all transgender people, or all Asians, or all this. That sometimes there's just people who are turned aside. I mean, look at the one kid that killed 25 people in Virginia all those decades ago because he felt isolated by his parents. He ended up stalking 2 girls, but society pushed him and pushed him and pushed him and pushed him until he decided to go and open fire. He had to be stopped, but that's how society treats people badly. The worst thing in the world than Hitler is when people create Hitler. When a community of people purposefully create Hitler and decide as though they're all conspiring together to isolate that person and push them until one day they push back in the worst way possible. So that's a problem. Because with Tom Homan, who's the border czar, not the director of ICE, but the director of ICE and Tom Homan and Donald Trump want to go after the gangbangers. And I think that's fine. You know what? My cousins were in gangs. I remember when my cousin Gabriel, who's passed away now, I might talk about this later on for the 30th anniversary of his passing. He would be 48. He'd be 48 years old today. And he would always do these, like, he would raise up his hands and do these gang signs, right? And try to impress these kinds of motherfuckers. Like, you think these fuckers care about you? They don't. You know what I mean? Pocket, Peanut, Melon, Joker, Little Legs, Casper. They don't give a shit. These people should go. If they're illegal, you go back across the border. Don't ever fucking come back. You're not doing us any favors. So yeah, I don't like people like this. They don't help anybody. They help themselves. So fuck you. Out. There actually are Mexican-American ICE agents. Just like I know there are Mexican-American Border Patrol agents. That is true. It's not, people on the extreme left will say, especially celebrities or white people, Irish, Polish, Scottish, French, German, British people will say, it's stormtroopers and Darth Vader versus the innocent Rebel Alliance. No, this isn't Star Wars, okay? You don't know who the bad guys are. You don't read, you don't research. This is the thing about it, is that just like phishers, Phishers, not phishing, but phishers, that steal your money when you give out your bank information over a false, either a false website, a false app, or over the phone. These are the social phishers, just like the George Soros people, just like the Walmart No Kings movement, the BLM movement, Me Too. These are the social phishers that steal your soul. They steal your soul through ignorance because they know you're too stupid to go and check and research. Do the research. If you did this kind of shitty research for a class, what grade in college do you think your teacher should give you? How about a fucking F? How about a 0? How about a 0 for that? But you know what the truth is? There is racial profiling. It happens. Brian Gavidia's encounter with an ICE agent. I think that the ICE Border Patrol agent did use excessive force. Now, he was briefly detained but released after a friend began filming the incident. The agent took his real ID and did not return it, forcing Gavidia to reply for a new one. That's shit. Now, I told you all before. To get a lawyer. If you're gonna come here with at least visas, okay? With at least visas, get an attorney. Do not be like, tomorrow. Tomorrow is too fucking late. You get an attorney. Right up, like, pretend I'm fucking you in the ass, and you're like, oh no, get an attorney. Don't wait till next year, because next year you're already back. Maybe you got some bloody bruises and you got racially profiled. Don't wait for that. Get an attorney, because you do have rights. You may not have the rights to vote. You may not have the rights to get car insurance or a driver's license, but you do have certain rights, and we will welcome you back. But the thing is, racial profiling does happen, okay? And I'll ask the Grok. Grok's not going to, play too many favorites here, okay? But there are documented incidents in 2025, okay? The thing is that the worst that you can hope to happen is that somebody stops you on the street, you show them your ID, they return it to you, and then you go through the denial, anger, fear, bargaining, and acceptance, and then you say, should I talk to an attorney? Did this ICE agent have a right to stop me and ask for my ID? Did he use excessive force? Did he try to ass rape me? I mean, it's all kinds of shit. Did he try to break my arm? So that's the stuff that everybody out there is protesting about. However, the cholos, the drug dealers, the offenders. Remember that one guy that got arrested in front of his pregnant wife? The guy actually committed murder somewhere else. How about the guy that chopped up his wife with a chainsaw? We want that fucker back. We don't want him deported. We want him back. We'll get him back. He'll pay for what he did to his wife. If you remember America's Most Wanted, you know what I'm talking about. So there are things that do happen. Now I did talk about body cams somewhere. And I said, do ICE agents wear body cams? In 2025, they started, it's not yet nationwide. Here it's in Baltimore, so Maryland, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C. and Washington, District of Columbia, Buffalo, New York, Detroit. So I don't know about California, but I think after this stuff, I think that we're going to start seeing body cams in Los Angeles for ICE agents. Required. So that should for you a little jiggling of the bean for you ladies and a little bit of a hard cock for you guys who are on the left. Yes, there will be body cams for ICE agents. Do not worry about that, okay? Get an attorney. Know your rights. Know what you're not allowed to do. You're not allowed to do whatever the hell you want. If you have to pay taxes like the rest of us, then you have to pay taxes. You have to watch your side of the road. Be mindful of all this stuff. Now, final thoughts. Now, I've been here for a long time. I'm happy to be where I'm at right now. Now, if something happens between my family and me, it's me against the world. And I'm hoping and I'm praying society will welcome me with open arms to help me get on my feet better. All I need to care about is what's happening with me. And where am I going? I'm not proud because I'm Mexican. I'm proud because I'm Maestro Drake. And somebody called me by my birth name. Only one person has the right to call me by my birth name. And if you've been following my videos, you know who that person is. You've seen her 3 times already. Okay? I'll give her that allowance. I will not give anybody else that. Kali UK, if Kali UK asks, I might give him permission. It's Maestro or Drake for everyone else. Just the way it is. Okay? Just how it has to be. But I have no regrets about where I'm at right now. I have to cut my hair. I have to go see my doctor tomorrow. Early in the morning. That's all I care about. What's happening with me. I don't care what else is happening out there. But I think we need to think better. No more stupid movements. Think for yourself. Stop being sheep. Stop being petty. Stop looking for a bad guy. Maybe you're the bad guy. Maybe it's the police. Maybe it's not. But we need to get past this. Stop acting retarded. Stop acting stupid. I'm an alpha male, and I'm going to stomp my feet. You don't need to hit anybody. You don't need to be violent unless there's no other choice. But I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit back and let people walk all over me. They tried it on Threads, but I think people on Threads are waking up. As woke as Threads is right now, people are kind of waking up to the bullshit. Okay? You don't need to be Republican. You don't need to be pro-life. You don't need to be Christian. Remember I told you, I like what I like and I don't like what I don't like because that is who the fuck I am. I tell you this because of the choices that I make, who I vote for, what I like to do. That's it. That's who I am. So let's end this. We're going to end this on a very positive. When I think of the answer to problem, not this guy. This guy's a piece of shit. I think of Superman. And Superman to me represents hope and, the very first stories. If you ever watch The Adventures of Superman, the black and white one from the 1950s, it very much emulates the first set of comic books that came out from Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel. In fact, Superman Archives Volume 1, which you can get at a good price on eBay, has the best reprint. I mean, the glossiest color. But it shows Superman beating up wife beaters and child abusers, not sex abusers, but it was 1938. It was very light on some topics. And it really showed that Superman was helping his community before he fought Brainiac and Metallo and Ultra Humanite and all that stuff. Like he was helping people. And here he's still helping people. He represents the best of what we could be. And that he would still work with police and first responders. He would give them credence. He would not tear them apart. Anybody who says Superman would do that is completely stupid of defunding police. And having been racially profiled and embarrassed by the sheriff's department, I'm still telling you that defunding the police is a mistake. That's not what we need to be doing. There's Planet of the Apes. There's Michael Jackson there. But I'm keeping this more Superman because I feel like this needs to be the Superman shelf. So that's all I got to say. It's taken me almost 20 minutes to get all this out. But as a Mexican American who was born here, who has a passport and a driver's license and my birth certificate, my social security card, and XYZ, and my diplomas, I feel like that my opinion matters. And so should yours. So That's it. That's all I got to say. Fuck off. Have a good week. And we'll see what happens.